Hello, hello. If you're here and you can hear me, feel free to let me know in the chat. I'm not sure if my mic is working, so if the volume of the music is right and if you can see the Bitcoin charts, and then we'll get started, well, in like 8 minutes. All okay. All right, perfect. Yo, yo, yo. Riggs, Crypto Sarah, what's up, man? Lou, hello. We can hear you and see your screen. Perfect. Okay, so just gonna wait a few more minutes until it's 2 p.m. and then we'll take a look at everything. Can you do CRV today? Yes, I can. I'm gonna start off with Bitcoin, give my thoughts on that one, and then we can do some alts and some requests from the chat. Dan, hello, man. Peter, what's up, man? All right. Oh yeah, gonna post on Twitter. All right. Peter, what's up, man? The gang is here. What's up, Andrew? Okay. Mattheus, what's up, man? Kenny, Khan. Wrong account. Oh. Okay. All right, 3 more minutes and then we'll start off with Bitcoin. And then I'll be charting some altcoins, do some requests, and then yeah, if you guys have any questions when live trading, let's see, man. Maybe someday in the future. First time joiner. Hello, man. Yeah, it's been a long time. I think the last time I streamed was like in October 2021. So it's been a while since I've done one of these, but yeah, I think it's a good way to help some people out. So you can ask questions live and stuff like that. Oslo, Chandler, please activate again in Discord. Nah, man, the Discord is closed. Sorry, for now at least. Maybe one day I'll reopen. But for now, I'm keeping it closed. Katalin Bensha. Hey, man. Okay, 1 more minute. And then we can start. Hola, El George. Dominic. What's up, man? All right, so first things first, everyone, welcome to the live stream. It's been a while, but yeah, I like doing these, so let's see how it goes, and then maybe I'll start doing these more often. First things first, big thanks to the sponsor of the video, of all of my videos basically, which is Prime XBT. I've been with them for over 2 years, since they just started basically. And I'm still in love with the exchange and the team. Yeah, so I left a link in the description. Feel free to check them out, and also promo code and stuff like that. But I think you guys know the drill. Also, feel free to leave a like on the video. That helps me a lot. Feel free to subscribe to my YouTube. And yeah, leave a comment with what you think about these. And yeah, let's get started with Bitcoin. So first I'll do Bitcoin, give my thoughts, and then I'll do some requests, some altcoins, and you guys can ask questions and stuff like that. Okay, so Bitcoin, let's start off on the monthly, right? So we've had this massive bull run, obviously, starting in, yeah, basically August, somewhere around here, or October 2020. And then we went on a massive bull run, and then the first time we saw a decent sized pullback was from this high, okay? So definitely gonna be marking out that high. And then what was the low after we made this high? That was this one, okay? So on the monthly, that's gonna be your monthly range. So let's draw that as a range. Like this, boom. So first high, that caused a pullback, and then the first low before the bounce as the range low, okay? So zooming in, you can already immediately see that the mid-range has been pretty damn pivotal. You can see perfect bounce around here, and then yeah, some choppiness around here, but acting as support here, and then we broke below, retest, and then started selling off. Currently below range mean, but obviously that doesn't say anything. Well, it does, but it doesn't mean we're definitely gonna go down. So next key levels, we're gonna be marking our key lows and key highs. Why? Well, for those of you that have been following me for a while, know that I really like to hunt liquidity, which is why you always want to be marking out those key lows and key highs. So for example, this one here, this one here. Why are they gonna be important? Well, because people tend to leave their stops below key lows and above key highs, okay? So for example, if they start longing here, they will put their stops below here, and that means there's going to be a lot of liquidity below there, and that's going to be a draw on price, okay? So that low after this crash got swept. We didn't quite sweep this low. Ideally, I would have liked it even more if we would have swept this one. But I mean, the sweep here was so clean that it doesn't really need to be swept to be considered as a sort of bottom, at least locally, okay? But we'll get into that later. So, as I said, these key highs and key lows tend to draw price, and whenever your lows are swept, the next draw on liquidity is gonna be to the upside, and the other way around. Whenever the highs are swept and there's clean lows to the downside, the draw is gonna be to the downside, okay? So what key highs do we have? Obviously this one right here, and we'll just leave it there, okay? So what's the daily range we're currently trading in? We've had this downside, exactly the same as with our monthly range, the low where we bounced as a range low, and then the first high after the bounce as a range high, okay? So range low, range high, and then you have your range. Okay, let's quickly remove this. Okay, so now where we're at, as you can see already, the confluence around these range EQs or mid ranges is damn key. Also, if we take a look at where the monthly open, which is also the yearly open, is resting, that's going to be a key level as well. That's also lining up within that area. So this area is definitely going to be key resistance. So we swept the lows here on the lower time frames. Price is trading, slowly trading higher. Now the first area of resistance for me is going to be this one. But as you can see on Twitter, basically everyone is targeting this. So what's my game plan? If we start grinding up again here and we make a high and see weakness, go for a sweep and sweep a local high here, I'll definitely be shorting, okay? Your invalidation is clean above here. And your target would then be, well, first this range low, key level, and then this low and this low, which are equal lows, okay? If we just smash through, what you want to be seeing then is, if we sweep some local lows, you want to see this hold. If we go above and, for example, deviate above here, take all this liquidity, get back below, then that would definitely be a bad sign, and I'd be looking for shorts all the way down towards range low, and then towards these lows again, okay? So on the lower time frames, So let's go to the hourly. Well, let's start off on the 4 hour. So what was our range when we were trading in this choppy zone, right? So taking this as a range low and this as a range high. Why? We've had this downside, equal lows, swept them, and then immediately what caused this low? It was this high, okay? And that also lined up with this high, so key liquidity above there. And as you can see, we tried to sweep them and try to trade lower, but failed. Instead, we held this as support, and now we're breaking out, okay? Well, we broke out. So what you want to be seeing now is, in my opinion, for this area to hold as support, okay? Now on the hourly, we have our little range as well. It's pretty choppy, pretty choppy day so far. But what am I personally watching here? I'm currently flat on Bitcoin, but what would I be trading? If we get some downside here and take out these local lows into that former range high level, which also lines up with this consolidation that led to this pump, and then reclaim range low, then that would be a long for me. Stops probably keep them below here in case we get another sweep and rip, and then target would be somewhere around here, okay? Trim most of it off here, and then maybe keep some in case we pump even further into gray. But yeah, so that's basically my first trade idea that I'd be taking. That I'd be taking. Currently, the liquidity to the upside has been taken, so the draw is to the downside. So longing here doesn't really make sense to me. When would I consider taking a long again? That's if we manage to reclaim the daily open and range high. So if we do something like this and it holds, it's not a wick, right, and immediately below. If we do that, we'll probably definitely go for this liquidity. But if we hold above, well, then we're probably gonna head straight for higher prices towards 45.50 towards 46. Okay. Now the bearish play, say that this is the high in, and we start breaking. So we see the sweep, but we fail to make higher highs, and we start breaking below here. That would be bearish. Then I'd probably be sitting out, but if we start breaking below the Monday high and the weekly open, then I think Monday low is next, which lines up with this equal low from all the way back there. So yeah, do I think we've bottomed? I mean, I think there's a pretty good chance, but at the same time, I don't really like that we didn't sweep this one. What I would love to see is another sort of liquidation cascade. So maybe start dumping here and then aggressively start cascading down and see a massive wick and then get bought, right? That would also take out liquidity below here and would be into key demand. So on the higher time frames, what's the consolidation that led to all of this upside? That was this consolidation, right? Well, this one pretty much. So if we see another dip, I'm definitely gonna be buying this. And if it would go together with liquidation cascade, that would even be better. Slow grind down would be worse. If it's a quick wick, yeah, that would be better. But anyways, it's possible that low is in. But do I think we go for all-time highs from here? Definitely not. We're simply ranging on the monthly, and until we, yeah, pretty much close a weekly above range high, I'm cautious, and I'm gonna be, yeah, trading the range until it's invalidated. But yeah, for now it's a good sign. We've swept last month's low. So liquidity, most of the liquidity to the downside has been taken. So I think there's a pretty good chance that this range high here is next into some higher supply towards here. So that we're on our way to 55k from here. That's definitely possible. in my opinion. Okay, let me check the chat for a moment. What's the time in my area? It's 2 p.m. here. Weekly stream. I'll see what I can do. The gray area, would you define that as a supply area? Not necessarily. Well, it is a supply area, but I marked it because there's just a lot of confluence of levels, right? You have your monthly mid-range, which lines up almost perfectly with the mid-range of this daily range, and you have your monthly open there. But as you can see, it definitely is supply. What is supply? Supply is a ranging environment, and then an impulsive move to the downside away, then this becomes supply. Why? Because people have been accumulating shorts in here because it dumped, yeah. And then when price revisits that area, those people are gonna want to defend that area, right? So they're gonna be defending this area, and it's gonna be acting as a resistance. While if we break back above, it's gonna be acting as demand, because then they will want to get out of their positions, and they're gonna be closing, which is just gonna be acting as fuel for more upside. Okay. And the other way around with demand, if you have ranging and then an impulse move away to the upside, then this area is going to be acting as demand, because people have been accumulating longs in this area, and when price revisits this area, they are gonna want to defend that area, and it's going to be acting as support. Well, not necessarily, but often. Make sense? Is that a good risk reward though? SL seems further than TP. You mean shorting this or longing this sweep? Well, longing this sweep, the setup would look something like this. Long here, stops below here, target up here. That's 2.5 R, that's more than enough in my opinion. So this setup makes sense in my opinion. At the beginning of the week, I was looking to long the weekly open test when we were ranging here. I wanted to see, so yeah, we had a similar range here, right? So I was looking to long a sweep in here, but unfortunately didn't get it. Which is why if we do it right now, this I'd be longing, but if we go for the weekly open, that would break market structure, and I don't know, then I'd be waiting probably for a reclaim of this area, and if we get back above here, then look for longs. Wait for a key low to be reclaimed to long, or placing a limit order below that low. Should I place a limit? Yeah, I've got that question a lot. Well, personally, I almost always use market orders. Why? Because whenever I take a trade, I base my trades off of two things, right? So having a key low or key high that's been swept. But that's of course not everything. On top of that, below the key low or above the key high must be a confluence of areas. So what I mean by that is, if you have a key low, price trades up, then comes down again, sweeps the low, you always want to have something below that low, whether it be a demand area from back here, as I explained earlier, or a monthly open, or a daily open, you know, something like that. So then you have not only that it's gonna be demand, or be a key level, but also that it taken out liquidity below this. So then you have a lot of confluence, and then I just mark it in here. I know that if price just dumps I'm wrong and the ID is wrong, and yeah, if it rips, yeah, you have profit. So that's basically how I see things. Make sense? Please ask if if it's not clear. I trade Bitcoin on Bybit perpetuals. So, any more questions on Bitcoin? So yeah, right now, this is no trade area for me personally. I'd be looking for longs on the sweep. Oh, let's take a look at the liquidation levels. So yeah, what I said about that confluence below key lows and and above key highs can also be liquidation levels, for example. As you can see here, 50x longs sitting right below these longs. So my scenario where I would long the sweep of the lows would also take out these liquidations. So that's even more confluence. And then, yeah, there'll probably be some liquidations above. So target those. Yeah. All right, let's do some altcoins. Do you prefer any particular session before entering trade, or you don't enter on any particular session for? No, time doesn't matter for my trades. No, I don't use market profile and footprints. Okay, so let me start off with sushi, because I'm in a long and it's a beautiful chart in my opinion. So starting off on the daily, right? Key lows here, swept, okay, ranging, and then from here upside towards supply, okay? Supply ranging before we broke down, demand ranging before we break up. When price revisits either of those, it's going to be acting as resistance or support. So price returns to the demand zone, okay? People were accumulating longs, so defending that area now. And as you can see, we're bouncing nicely. Then if we zoom in, we had a nice 4-hour range, or 2-hour or hourly, whatever, where we built some lows, swept the lows, and then we broke back above our range mean, and then locally swept the lows into range mean, confluence, you know, held above the weekly open, even more confirmation. That's why I took a long here. My invalidation was pretty clear below the weekly open. I knew if we would be trading back below there that the trade was invalidated. And target range high, we had equal highs. Those have been taken by now, but so equal highs were to the upside, drawn liquidity, and then we have this key high, this high right here into this basically. Okay, that's why my target is around there. So if it gets back below, so I could see some ranging here and then a sweep of the low into somewhere around there. But if it breaks back below this area, yeah, then obviously I'll get stopped, but then the trade is invalidated. So not trailing my stop loss yet, because I could see this wick back down to my entry, but ultimately I think we're going to be taking out at least this high, where I'll be closing 50% of the position and then leave some. I actually took some profit already, like 20%, and then keep some for higher. Okay. FTM, I also longed this one this morning. So daily range from the highs to this low, the first low where we saw decent sized bounce. As you can see, the mid-range acting as a pivot. All the way support, broke below, resistance, sold off, resistance, sold off, resistance, broke above, deviated below, now back above. And then on the lower time frames, that range doesn't matter anymore. We swept some local lows here overnight, and then started pumping, got back above the daily open. We had clean highs to the upside, equal highs here, equal highs here, and then obviously range high, which was the draw on price. So then we shot up. We did close the 4 hour a little bit ugly, so I could see some downside here, but ultimately I think we're heading for these equal highs. Unless Bitcoin does something crazy, I think we do something like this, where we dip a little, take out a 4 hour low, and then grind up again. So that's the current position I'm in on Phantom. Invalidation below here. Because yeah, we swept this low into little demand here. If price gets back below here, then we're probably gonna go for these lows into our range mean, where I'll be looking for fresh longs. But then yeah, if I'd keep my stop below here, that risk reward would be horrible. So if it gets below here, I'll just look to re-long lower. How to manage it? If the low is swept, should I be hold until range high? What makes you change your mind and close the trade? Well, that depends from person to person, you know. Some people just leave their stop and say like, I'm holding this to stop or target, so loss of profit. And some people manage it. In my opinion, managing is better because conditions can change. But yeah, that's just what you like, because managing a trade can also be dangerous, you know, because it plays a lot more on your emotions. For example, when a trade goes like this, you're like, oh damn, nice profit. Then it starts dumping. Then you're like, oh shit, above here I had nice profit and now I'm back to 1 hour profit, so I'm gonna close here, you know, so I have some profit. But the trade is not invalidated, so you should be holding while it can just grind back up from here and go to target. So it's, yeah, if you're a newer trader, for newer traders, it can often be better to just set your stop loss and set your target and forget about it. For more experienced traders to manage it and to say like, if it does this, and then you have some key levels here and it breaks back below there, then I'm gonna cut it, because then it's invalidated and it's more likely to trade lower. But until then, yeah, it might be safer to leave your stop and don't touch it. Yes, I'm Flemish. Do you risk 1%? More like 2 or 3%, but it depends. I'm risking more on Bitcoin trades than on altcoins. Okay, Luna I saw a lot. Yeah, this was beautiful. Clean range, and then got back inside the range, bounced perfectly around mid-range, broke back above. But yeah, it's at some resistance now, so I'd be careful here. I mean, obviously it's looking very strong. Weekly is looking very good as well. As you can see, this gray box is weekly demand, lining up with range EQ. But it's at resistance right now. So what I'd be waiting for here, personally, is some kind of ranging to develop, some dip, upside again, and then a sweep into these key levels, which also line up with demand here. Then keep your invalidation below here and target first the highs and then the monthly open. But for now, I mean, yeah, this was basically the ranging and the 3 sweeps, 1, 2, 3, that caused all of this downside. So that's gonna be a massive level. If it can manages to reclaim this and close above here, then I think all dips are for buying, and then we're heading for this high into supply here. And if it gets back above this, then it's all-time highs. That is the all-time high, right? Yeah. But for now, I wouldn't be blindly longing here. Better to wait. And then your setup would be something like along these lines, long here, and then you have a decent risk reward to 1.7. That's okay. If it does something like this and then sweeps the highs into the monthly open and breaks back below, that's an easier short than long, in my opinion. Then you short, easy invalidation, let's say above here, above this high, and above the monthly open, and then target this demand lower here. But yeah, no trade zone for me here. Atom, yes, I'll do. Yes, and then I'll do 1. So yeah, Atom I really like. I'm also still long on this from like 2-3 days ago. So basically this area here was former resistance. So resistance. And then we broke above, build a range. Why this range? So we pumped. This was the high that caused a decent sized retrace. Well, what was the first low after the retrace? This one, so that's range low. As you can see, the range mean is acting as a pivot, support, resistance, some choppy around here, resistance, perfect resistance here, and now perfect support. So just beautiful levels. So I longed here on the strength above here. And then yeah, we traded higher into supply, got our retrace and build up a lower time frame range here. high, low. So pump, retrace, the high as a range high, the low as a range low, mid-range acting as a pivot again, as you can see. So we swept the lows into our 4-hour range mean. And then, yeah, this morning it was looking very good. Right now, I mean, we're at demand here. If it starts breaking below here, I'd probably be cutting because, yeah, that wouldn't be a good sign. What's this? Okay. So what I ideally want to see now is a pump strength back above this local range EQ, and then, yeah, finally a break above range high to make our way towards 4-hour range high. We're also right at the daily open, so this is a must hold area for Atom. Let's take a look at the daily. Yeah, I mean, daily it still looks very strong, right? We're above the daily open, strong daily candles, not a lot of resistance anymore in my opinion, and a perfect retest of this mid-range. So I'm definitely gonna be holding this one unless we smash back below this. And even then I'll see if we do something like this where we just sweep this low and see a strong bounce, then I'll probably be holding. But yeah, if we close like down here, then bigger chances we'll be trading towards here. Hello, Otman. One harmony, one. Yeah, super strong this one, right? Yeah, I mean, don't really know what to say. This is super strong. Would I be longing here? No, not really, because always ask yourself the question, if I long here, where are you gonna put your stop? Maybe below the daily open, but not sure if you'd be safe with that. So if you long here and stop below the daily open, then your risk reward is fine, even if you target all-time highs. But yeah, then you probably should target higher. But otherwise, where's the real retest demand resting? That's gonna be around here. And if you keep your stop below there, then your risk reward is gonna be meh. But I definitely wouldn't be shorting this. I think this is heading for all-time highs. So what I'd be taking is if we start ranging here, right? And again, build up a range, sweep the lows into this former resistance, then that's your long. Then you have your safe stop below this area. You definitely know if it goes below there, you're wrong, and target all-time high and beyond. Makes sense. But overall, this is a lovely look. Range high, range low. As you can see, the sweeps I always talk about. Beautiful sweep. Strong close above. Yeah, this was such a beautiful long. Sadly missed it. Yeah. I mean, you could take this. This is hourly demand. Because we swept, as you can see on the 4-hour. This 4-hour, last 4-hour low got taken out into former range high. And then we price pumped. Now we're simply consolidating, swept some local lows again. So you know, if we're gonna go for all-time highs from here, that this gray area is a must hold. So then you could be taking something like this, stop right below here. That's actually a pretty good setup. And then target all-time high, whatever it is. You see? It's always about having a clean plan and having your invalidation set at an obvious point, and then it's just you're wrong or you're right. If you're wrong, it's fine, you take the loss and you move on. If you're right, happy days, you have profit. This shit is lagging so hard. How did that Atom long go? Went bonkers. Yeah, I'm still in man. Still in. Okay, let's do link. I saw a lot of link. And then I'll do HTR. HTR. You still in ITP'd? Dang. Yeah, I'll do link. Then I'll do HTR USDT. And then we'll see. If Sushi could just take out this high, that would be perfect. Oh, near. I also want to talk about near. Let's do that one too. First, link. Weekly range. So on link, a lot of price action from before. You could ask yourself, why do I pick these levels and not the ones up here? Well, that's pretty easy to answer, because price has been trading in this area and not up here. Okay, if price breaks out of this, then I'll look for new levels above here. But as long as price is trading down here, well, you should be taking the levels down here. So the weekly range that I took, upside, high made, decent sized pullback. So the first low as a range low, and then that's your mid-range. Immediately you can see mid-range acting as a pivot, resistance, resistance, down here resistance, right now resistance. Okay, so then let's zoom in and take a look. Yeah, I mean, link has been pretty damn choppy. Also, as you can see, this is also a clean range. And as you can see, it almost perfectly lines up with the weekly range. But anyways, on the lower time frames, key level right here. Why this? Because if this was bearish, this sweep of the high should have held and should have kept the upside. It did for a moment. Okay, we pushed down again, but then we failed to break below this area and make new lows. Instead, we bounced and broke above this. As you can see, broke above and dips into this area, got bought. Okay, so now that we know that, let's zoom in a little again. Yeah, I mean, link on the 4 hour is pretty damn ugly. The range I'd be taking here would be this one. Range high and range low. Why? upside, 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 first decent sized pullback from this high to this low, so range high, range low, mid-range. Yeah, I mean, it's choppy, but it's pretty pivotal, I'd say. This high got bought up beautifully. And yeah, now it's just, I don't know, consolidating, grinding down. What I wouldn't be trading this, to be honest, but if I would have to, I'd probably be waiting for us to take out this low. Why? Because this one got bought up very quickly, so bet there's gonna be a lot of stops below here, and now we've been grinding lower and just consolidating here. It would only make sense to take out that liquidity. Okay, so if we do that, we dump lower, take out liquidity into local demand from here, and then manage to reclaim a key level. So what I mean by that, for example, is, for example, we have our daily open right here. Let's say today we chop around, close here, okay, and then tomorrow we break down, sweep the, oh, it's also Monday low, that's beautiful. Okay, so we sweep Monday low, and then the daily open will be resting here. Then you can easily wait for the reclaim of the daily open, and then that adds more confluence to the idea of price trading higher. So then you have your invalidation below this, entry on the reclaim of, at that moment, the daily open, and then targets, I'd say these highs first. Makes sense? And then yeah, as of swing trades or swing points, as long as we're below this range mean, also sweeps, I wouldn't get too excited. If we start breaking above here, then we can start talking about range high, which will be key resistance. And then above here, it's off to, yeah, probably here. There. All right. HTR perp. No. USDT. Nope. Yes. What's this? On Qcoin. Never heard of this. Pretty choppy chart, but this looks pretty good in my opinion. Yeah, it's just been ranging, right? But it came down again. So this is key, right? This one, because we came from these lows, build up demand, boom, then high, then saw the pullback, and as you can see, this sweep of the high led to the sweep of this low. Okay, oops. So reclaimed range low. As you can see, we are bouncing off of range low right now. If this is bullish, the deviation below should hold, in my opinion, because we've already tested this demand. If that's not gonna hold, then you want to get out, in my opinion. So it could do something like this and get another sweep, but then it should really start pushing higher. So invalidation I'd keep below here if you're looking for longs, somewhere around there. And then your target, yeah, looks pretty good for a move back to range high, in my opinion. something like this. But more confirmation above the monthly open, because it could as well start bleeding down again, although we've broken market structure. So yeah, move up, definitely. Yeah, definitely favoring longs for this one here. Also clean validation below the weekly open. Let's see how the weekly, yeah, see, weekly looks beautiful as well. Swept last week's low, so draw is gonna be to the upside into a key level. And as for swings, yeah, you really need a break above range high. If it manages to push above here and start closing up here on the daily and the weekly, then dips are for buying and target new all-time highs. CRV. Yeah, I've been talking about this one for a long time as well. Why? Because when it was trading here, right, I said that this was one that has been ranging for ages and didn't break out yet. And I said, if it breaks out, you want to be long, because then it's gonna rip. And it sort of did that, but I'm kind of disappointed, to be honest. Would have expected it to go much more explosive. But yeah, anyways, that didn't happen. So right now, this is gonna be the range. Upside from these lows, from this accumulation. High, first decent size pullback, range low. High swept, low swept. Boom, beautiful. Zooming in. Monday high lining up with range low. Yeah, so I wouldn't be longing it right here. I'd be waiting for a dip, just a small dip into range low, and then your risk reward is much better. I'd say invalidation is clean below here, because you have some demand resting here and also the weekly open. So what does that mean? If this area doesn't hold and you start breaking back below, then you're probably gonna see more downside towards these lows. If it does hold, okay, fine. And then your risk reward, as you can see, is much better with your stop below here and target. See, then even to range EQ, your risk reward is 1.5. To range high, it's over 3. So that's a beautiful trade. Where if you would have taken it now, it would be 1.7 to range high and 0.7 to mid-range, which isn't really worth taking. Makes sense? So on the lower time frames, yeah, highs, lows. So what I would be really looking to take is if it dumps here, takes out this low into this key range low level, and then bounces, reclaims this, reclaims some key levels, and then my target would be the monthly open, range EQ, and then range high. Does all of this make sense to you guys, or not at all? Ja, yes sir. very clean. All right, perfect. Explain reclaim entry technique. You know, as I explained earlier, I don't really look well. Reclaim gives you more confidence when you're already in a trade, but I most of the time don't wait for the reclaim on entering a trade. I mostly just enter markets, as I said, whenever the sweep happens. So in this case, for example, if we start dumping, I'll just take a long here. Why? Because what do you need for a trade? You need an invalidation, you need a target, and a clear game plan, right? If my plan is this, take out liquidity below here into clean demand, into a clean key level, and you have a clean invalidation, I mean, in this case, it's pretty far away, but then you just know when I market long down here, I know my risk is set below here, and I know if price starts dumping that I'm wrong. So why would I wait for a reclaim? Well, because maybe that adds more, well, that increases the probability of the trade. Yes, true. But then you also have a worse entry. And if I know where I'm wrong, why not just take it down here? You know what I'm saying? And for example, if you're, because back in the days, right, especially on Bitcoin, back in the days, Bitcoin would make a low and then would sweep and close above here. The sweeps were so fucking clean, right? You just had to long, put your stop below the low and target some highs, and easy, you were done, okay? That setup would work, I mean, 99% of the time. Well, that's maybe a little high, but would work a lot, okay? And what I mean with a close, let me see if I get an example. Like here, right? But then on the short side, so you'd have a high, you'd sweep that high, close below, okay? Then you'd know that's the close below would then be your confirmation. You'd short, market short on the close, stop above the high, and target these lows, for example, okay? Boom, in this case it would have worked. But I'm mostly talking about Bitcoin now, right? But what Bitcoin now does very often is make a high, then, for example, get above, close an hourly, for example, very strong, then just wicks above it again, and then just nukes, okay? So I'm calling that a sweep as well. But do you wait for confirmation on the close below? No. Because right now it just wants to trick you into longing and then just nukes the hell out of you. Oh, strong close, I'm gonna long here. And then boom. You know, markets changed, and so now just if you think this is a short because it swept into a key level, obviously, not just look for a short on the sweep. Not just if it closes above here, I'm gonna short. No, that's stupid. But if it sweeps into a key level, into a supply area, just short. You have your invalidation above that area. If it goes above, okay, fine, you're wrong. And if it dumps, happy days. Does that make sense? RSV. IOTA. Oof. So range low, range high. Yeah, looks kind of the same, right? You have your kilo here that got swept. Then one more sweep right here. Build up demand. If this is bullish, this area should hold. Once again, lines up with a weekly open. So again, would I be longing here? Nah, not necessarily. But I do think there's a good chance that we're gonna be trading towards range mean. How would I get long? First scenario, some downside, long here, or the sweep, okay, long there. If it sweeps, you can keep your invalidation a little bit higher, because then it has taken key liquidity. So then I'd say below the weekly open. If you just blindly long in this area, I'd keep your stop below this range low level, and target the highs. If it doesn't come down there again, I'd probably sit out. I mean, it just swept some kilos, so this could very well be the bottom. If it starts reclaiming and closing above the daily open here, I think we're off. Sweep, sweep. See? For now, this is just a bearish retest, right? And it could just start bleeding down again. But if we start closing above the daily open again, then damn, I think we're gonna be having some upside. When the PA hits certain key levels, do you also look at candlestick patterns to assist with the direction SFP? No, I never look at candlestick formations. Gala. Yeah, so as you can see with this kind of behavior on altcoins, that's not really what I like. It's the classic pump fast and then take ages to nuke, bounce, lower high, nuke, bounce, lower high, nuke. And then everyone's, oh, buy the dip, it's going for all-time highs, and then nuke. Oh, buy the dip, it's going for all-time highs, and then nuke. You know? So what I always wait for when I see these kind of charts is basically wait for this to retrace the whole pump from back here, and then it will most likely bounce, hit a high, but then it will also most likely come all the way back down again to sweep the lows. And then you have your range set like this, range high, range low, range high, and then when you sweep the lows, you want to look for a build of demand right here, and then buy the retest. And then you have an easy setup, long the lows, stop below the deviation or below the sweep, and target this high, not all-time highs. Okay, so that's what I want to see on coins that look like this. So if this is the range, right, and this is your deviation, although I don't really think it is, but if it is and we reclaim this, ideally I'd want to see some more ranging here, some longer chop, then another nuke below here, and then if we get back above here, I'd be looking for longs towards range mean here, and then the highs up here and up here. But I want to see much more ranging for that to happen. Otherwise, it can easily just dump back and keep nuking lower. So I'm not really interested in touching this Gala. Okay. Oof. FTM. Nice. Huh? Okay, never mind. ADA. ADA, and then I'll do SXP. Ooh. Yeah, I like this. So this area is just gonna be automatically support because we've been trading so much in here, you know. And then we have this key weekly low. And for the high, yeah, this one probably. Yeah, I don't really like this because we've bumped straight into supply resistance here. Swept some highs with this wick above here, and we broke back below the monthly open key area, right? So I think it's more likely that this retraces and goes for a retest of range low, where you could be looking for longs then. But that's, yeah, I mean, longing down here it's basically in a downtrend, right? And if it gets rejected on the monthly open, do you really want to be a buyer at range low? Not me, to be honest. And on top of that, I fucking hate Cardano. But anyways. Now, what I would probably buy is if this gets back above the monthly open. Or not that I'm definitely gonna buy this, but a trade I'd be interested in. If it starts reclaiming this, I think that this is not gonna be the real resistance, but more like somewhere around here. So if it reclaims this, it's probably gonna be trading towards here. And if it gets back above here, then much higher towards these highs. Let's see. Yeah, see? This range, also beautiful pivotal mid-range here, here, here. And that's exactly the level I marked here. So if it gets back above here, target range mean. If it gets back above here, target range high. That would be a good trade, but for now, I'd stay out. And don't long assuming that we're gonna break back above, you know. That's also a mistake a lot of people make. Assuming that something is gonna happen. Assuming that we're gonna break resistance. And then they long right into resistance and it doesn't break. Swipe. Altcoin. See, it's not the best example, but it's sort of one. We got upside, then retraced the whole move, accumulation, lower high, and then grinded all the way back down to the lows and swept them. So what you want to be looking for now is ranging. Yeah, but yeah, I don't like it. I mean, this support area, how much has it been tested, you know? And on top of that, every pump into supply just gets rejected very hard. So first one here, into resistance, rejected, then here, into supply, rejected, then here, into supply, rejected, and always into the same demand area. So yeah, what I would want to see to become bullish on this would be a low, a higher low, a higher high, sorry. So a break back above this, and then a higher low and a higher high. So basically this area, so low, swept, lines up almost perfectly with the monthly open. So you could take that as your key level here, and then say if we reclaim this, then you're bullish and target. I just target this and this. Yeah. And until then, I'd stay out or short it. West Vlaanderen. Signing off. Bye bye, Peter. Thank you. Oof. Come on, sushi. Nice. See, it bounced Atom exactly how we said on this daily open and little demand. So this looks ready for range high in my opinion. Next. And then the one I'm looking at, oh, we didn't do near. Okay, first, so the ones I'm looking at the most right now are CRV. So this one, the setup I drew here. So probably gonna set some bits below this low in case Bitcoin nukes, and this gives a sweep of the lows. I'm probably gonna be bidding this, stops below here and target up here, and then all the way up there, but first up here, and near. Didn't talk about, oh fuck, it went straight up. Lol. Yeah, I wasn't watching it. Shit. I had bits in this gray area. But yeah, missed it. Could still come down, and I'd still take it, but I mean, yeah, as you can see, it's pumping already. So we had a beautiful range here. Range high swept, came back down to the lows. Didn't quite sweep them, but got a strong bounce and consolidated a little at range high. Built up some demand and then went for all-time highs, consolidated again. Then I wanted to see a sweep of that low in there, and then I'd be looking for longs, but yeah, didn't give the retest, so missed it. If it comes down again, I'd probably be taking it, but yeah, probability is lower now, you know, because pumped a lot already. So mostly looking at CRV and yeah, and then the ones I'm already in, Atom, Sushi, and FTM. Okay. Small accounts. I mean, small account or a big account, you just do exactly the same. Well, unless you're trading with like really big accounts, then you have to count in slippage and liquidity and whatever. But for most, you do exactly the same. It's just, if you have a small account, don't risk 50% of your portfolio it's all about psychology. If you risk 50% on your small account and you lose a trade, then you lose 50% on your account on one single trade, and you'll immediately start sweating and like, oh damn, goddamn, what I have to do. So risk. If you have a small account, you can risk more than with a bigger account, but still don't risk more than 5, maximum 10%. But at the start, I'd be risking between 5 to 10%. And just don't focus on the wins, right? Don't focus on making money. You're not gonna be making money if you're just starting out. You're gonna be losing money. Keep that in mind. You are gonna be losing, and you will have to refund your account. So don't focus on making money. Focus on making successful trades, even if they don't make money. A successful trade where you make a penny is way better than a losing trade. Than a trade where you make stupid mistakes but don't lose money, you know. And that's all about psychology. People step in this game trying that they can flip $100 into $1 million or 100K. Well, yeah, they'll have a hard time, you know. So don't focus on the money. Focus on your trades and on your analysis, and work your ass off and never give up. All right, I think I'm gonna head off here. I hope you guys enjoyed. I liked it. We're probably gonna be doing this again. If you haven't already, please like the video and subscribe to my YouTube. That helps me a lot. Okay, and yeah, thanks again to PrimeXBT for sponsoring. Okay, I might record another video next week, or we'll do a live stream again if you guys liked it. If you want to, leave a comment on the video once it's up, okay? And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.